Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. This video will have two different parts. A short intro and small discussion about what my channel actually will be, what kind of content I will try to make on here, and then my deck profile from YCS Bologna. So if you're only here for the deck profile, then please check out the description and you'll find a timestamp of where the profile actually starts. So I'm just gonna start off by, I want to give a huge shout out to everyone that showed up at Bologna and came up to talk to me, to have a card signed, ask for the White Forest list, really anything. It was super cool to get to meet up you guys, and it was kind of an eye-opener for me for how many fans I actually have, how many people know about me and want to talk to me and find me interesting just from watching me play at Euros and Worlds and from knowing that I play White Forest. So that was super cool, and it was a big motivator for me because I've always kind of had the idea in the back of my head that I wanted to try making Yu-Gi-Oh content, though I'm not really a big techie. I don't know how to do any sort of editing. My PC is from 2016. I don't exactly have the groundwork, but with the amount of people that came up and talked to me, I just thought that it had to be possible. So I want to try it. I have some different ideas for content, mainly related to playing the game in the first iteration. I know there's not a lot of people that do competitive DB content, viewing over their games, explaining things they could have done better, generally just playing the game, TCG, because DB is kind of hard to make interesting to watch. So I want to try if I can figure out something with that. Of course, I'm going to be playing the Master BC Cups, so I figured I might as well try streaming them. So that's what I have as a clear-cut starting idea. Though if you have anything you want to try to you would like to see me do, I don't know, let's play a specific deck, a specific kind of discussion, maybe a non-Yu-Gi-Oh themed game, really anything, then write it in the description and I'll take a look at it and probably try to do it, unless it's really tech intensive. That's kind of it, honestly. Just, yeah, welcome to my channel, hope you like it here. And let's move on to the profile. So, as I'm sure a lot of you already know, I played Azamina White Forest for YCS Bologna. I went 11-4 in Swiss and got 52nd place. Though I don't think this is representative of how good the deck actually is. Because throughout the 15 rounds of Swiss, I can only recall 3 games that I was actually supposed to lose. The remaining of the games were lost by my mistakes and not by the deck. But moving on to the actual deck, I'm going to start off with the main deck. I played 40 cards. I think you should always play 40 cards, or at least as close to 40 as the format allows you. Simply because LZ is by far the best card in the deck. So for the White Forest monsters, 3 LZ, for obvious reasons. 3 Sobi, as she is the best normal summon in the deck. 1 Azamina LZ, as you really don't need more, even though it's a really good extender. And 1 Stellar. It's a good card to have access to off LZ and the field spell, though it is, in my opinion, the most cuttable card in the deck at the moment. For the spell traps, I played 3 field spell. Whether the third copy should be the 3rd field spell, Terraforming for Thrust, or the 3rd copy of Foolish Burial Goods is up for debate. I found that the Terraforming is terrible into draw, and if you open Field Spell plus Extender, you can most of the time Field Spell for White Witch to play around draw, at least to some extent, and that I was drawing Foolish Burial Goods plus both targets too often. For the remaining spell traps, I played 1 Tails. This card is a good extender, it's good for the combo, but due to the activation requirements, you don't really want to hard draw it too often. 1 Simple Spell White Forest. This card helps bridge the engines, and it helps play around Dominus cards and Azamina LZ. And 1 Bows. This card helps you play around roll game 1 and post side with searching Sylvie first action, and is in general just a good board piece and a trap card for vengeance. Moving on to the Simple Spells engine, I played 1 Devastar, 3 Wanteds, 1 Deception, 1 Hallowed, and 1 Solera. I think this is kind of the golden ratio. Which Devastar trap you play is up for debate. The one you normally see is Morion, though I think Morion right now is just not good into the format. And the graveyard effect of this is honestly almost as good as the graveyard effect of Morion. So I never missed it, and I would absolutely not have played Moiraine over this card. Only one Witch, because I don't like using 2 cards for one play. In this deck, the body you get from summoning Witch itself doesn't actually do anything. Then the 4 cards that make up the Diabell engine. These are the best 4 cards in the deck by far, in my opinion. I would never play the deck without them. Vengeance is the heart and soul of the deck. She carries you from start to finish. This card just does so much, and it's accessible by both the other engines due to virtue of being a simple spoil, and White Witch being a White Forest monster. These cards just do so much, though I would not play multiple copies because none of them, especially Vengeance, are particularly amazing to hard draw. That's 25 engine cards, and I think like that is sort of like the golden ratio this deck is going for, at least for game 1. I wouldn't consider anything but the 1 SLR even debatably cuttable. Then for the non-engine, 1 called by, this card beats Droll, and is in general just okay into the format right now. It stops Mirakumo, it stops Herald, it stops my mana. That is usually not enough to break a board with engine, though this deck's engine is so strong that even called bys like your only non-engine, you should still be able to push through most boards. 2 Burial Goods, as I stated, the 3rd field spell could be the 3rd copy. This card is very good in this deck because it's access to Blackouts, to want to draw in some nations since it's a Hallowed, and most often it sends Curse of Diabell, which gets you Philia Diabell, which is a really good board breaker. 3 Blackout, this card is not insane to the format, but it's insane in this deck, because you literally get it for free. It's your broken thrust target in any matchup going first, and it's immediate interaction. You can always just discard off of LZs or off of White Witch as your first play going into the board, and you can check an interruption that isn't even on field yet. It's so versatile and so strong. Now, before you roast me, just hear me out. 2 Thrust, 2 Dark Ruler, 1 Evenly. I know this looks weird, but you have to take the rest of the non-engine and the space into context. The 1 Talents is here. I would play more if I could, but it's at 1. And then the 3 Wallows. I just think this card is phenomenal right now. It's phenomenal in general, and there's no real reason not to play it. Unless the format goes super low ceiling or super main deck focused. So, to explain these, you first have to look at some of the sighting patterns. I found that you could play 6 non-engine that doesn't do anything going first in the main deck, and that was fine, though I never wanted to do more. It was 6 or less. And with the 3 Fuwa already locked in, there were 3 spots left. So, Dark Ruler is for Mitsu and Yummy decks, mainly Mitsu Yummy, but also pure Yummy is broken. Just because Mitsu Yummy is the matchup I find the hardest to break without strong specialized non-engine. The Evenly is for Draco Tail, and I wanted the 1 for Thrust. Therefore, 2 in 1. And then the 2 Thrust is here because there is no more space. With disregarding the 2 Thrust, there are 38 cards in the deck. And I think every other card than the Thrusts, apart from arguably the 3rd field spell and the SLR, serve a more specialized and more important role than the 3rd Thrust. So that's why. Moving on to the extra deck, I played, for the White Forest Synchros, 1 Arceala, 1 Sylvia, 1 Diabell Queen, 1 Poplar. These are all 4 of the White Forest Synchros that are in the game, and you need all of them, but you don't need multiples because they're infinitely recyclable with Sylvie. 1 Vengeance Dragon, this card is what you make with Poplar on the opponent's turn 99% of the time. It's very helpful, it helps crack, it's also very good at cracking boards since it pushes one of their monsters back and then pops another in the battle phase. Just a very strong utility card overall. Then 1 Chaos Angel, this card is absolutely fucking busted, should be banned. I don't know why people aren't petitioning for this card to be banned, but please don't. It lets me win games with it. I used it criminally little during this YCS, but it's one of this deck's best tools by far. And then 1 Arclight, this is your nib check when you start with the field spell, and it's also a very useful going first floodgate against Draco Tail. That's it for the Synchros. The Azamina fusions, I played Murcielago and Ilia Sylvia as like the obvious ones. You need to play both of these, they're really good. Then I played Saint Azamina and Moa Regina. I don't understand why people are ever debating cutting Moa Regina. This card is so good. I use it in my lines going first, I use it to break boards going second. This card does so much. It also lets you use awkward hands that open only simple spoil cards to make Chaos Angel, because you go search Azamina Alzat, fuse off it in Vengeance, and then this brings Azamina Alzat back, and then you make Chaos Angel in defense. And a lot of decks will struggle outing that next to a small board. And I played 1 Azamina. I think this card is It's not amazing, like you can play other things, but I really like it because firstly, my Lunalight PTC from Worlds is just gone. This deck removes both Ligers really easily. You just summon Saint and then summon this and then run over the other Liger, and you can't kill it because you can't restore the card effects. Or because you have White Witch, but never mind that. But I also found this card makes Surprise with Decays very easy, and it makes it so that you have, like, all three of your engines can be the finisher engine. Because I found that without this, it was usually the White Force cards with Sylvia Piercing, or the Vengeance, like the Vengeance engine, again with Sylvia Piercing, that I was using to end the game. And while Saint Azamina itself technically has the Nightmare Pain Win condition, it's just much easier to tribute one of those things for something with 4,000 attack next to a Mo Regina that already has 3,000 attack. And then when doing Dragon for Poplar, I think this card is phenomenal. It lets your Vengeance actually summon something relevant if you found it off of the White Force engine. And it's just really easy to do when your extra deck is relatively open. I played 2 links, 1 Lina, 1 SP. SP is SP and kind of self-explanatory. The idea with Lina is that sometimes you can crash it to get Alzats, or Azamina Alzat, and also you can use it to steal Heralds. I never made it. Dino's Rare Spy, and he knows this deck better than me. Shout out Dino, by the way, for teaching me this deck. So I guess I should play it, but to me this is the most cuttable card in the extra deck. For the side deck, I played 6 cards that you can always bring in going first, for the Fuwa and the Highbreakers. Ash for Charmies, but it also doubles down as a going second card against Dracotail. The third thrust, Scourge the White Force and Anti-Spell Fragrance. This could be Judgment, though I just found that Anti-Spell is generally more oppressive as it can end turns, whereas Judgment just helps one play. And then 1 DDG. This is the only thrust skip your turn floodgate I could think of. Technically there is the oh god, what's the name of it? The trap that reduces all your opponent's monsters in hand by 1 level. Gnomes something, which is technically good against Mitsurugi, though against most Mitsurugi versions they're playing Yummy, and against that I would rather just set Black Coat to call Snatchy. Then for the rest of the side deck, the 3rd Dark Ruler for Yummy decks, the 2 other Evenleys for Dracotail, and then one of my main reasons for playing this deck actually is 5 Charmies. This should arguably be in the opposite ratio, seeing as Pirellia is still fine against Mitsuyami, and it honestly pairs better with Fuwa, because Fuwa and Meows don't pair that well since they interact with the same engine, whereas Pirellia catches their hand interruptions better, in my opinion. And though it was fine, I did not sign for going second much in those matchups, so I don't think I used them at all. But the idea is just that if they give you 2 or 3 draws to make a strong half board, you will just always break it, because you play Power Breakers and your engine is just strong at breaking the boards. That's the list. Let me know if there's anything you would like to see explained. I have had a lot of people walk up to me asking for the list, asking for White Force ideas, so the idea of making a Manify has crossed my mind. And so please write a comment if that were to interest you, and I would probably do it. As for shoutouts, shoutouts to Philip, Ere, and Ewan for traveling with me. You guys are awesome. Shout out to Ere for lending me the 2 Meows that I unfortunately don't have with me. I had to give them back. That's what the empty sleeves are, if anyone was wondering. Shout out to Dino for, teaching me this deck, being my 24/7 coach, even though we live at a 12-hour time difference. And shout out to Tom for building Fiends with Yummy with me, even though none of us ended up playing it.